Hey there, I'm Akita, and I want to talk to you today about NotebookLM. And there's been videos about it all over YouTube, the internet, about people how to go about using NotebookLM. It's a great research sort of tool. It's great for cataloging ideas and things of that nature, but I feel like we're not really using it to its utmost. So, like, I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 25 years. Currently, I teach fifth grade. I have a very busy life. I run memberships. I teach people how to use digital products. I'm opening up another membership and another YouTube channel called Coaching That Clicks that actually helps people specifically who have executive functioning issues organize their businesses and like use AI to get their life together and their businesses together and everything else. A lot of the same stuff that I use for myself. I'm not ADHD, but I'm someone who is constantly fighting for extra time trying to make things happen. So let's go ahead and juxtapose this to NotebookLM, where I always see people talking about the same stuff. And they're not wrong in terms of how it's used, but everyone's always like, well, go over here and do the search and log in 50 sources and do this. And I'm just like, I feel like we could be using this a lot better. I mean, they're not wrong. Like, let me not throw shade on people. Like, that's rude. But I mean, I feel like we can do a lot better. And so I gave it some thought and I was doing some research on my own and looking at some different tools. And I thought to myself, how can we hack NotebookLM to really make it serve our purposes as a digital product creator, as business owners and things of that nature, and really use it to its utmost? So I went ahead and I got some ideas and I spoke to a group, an actual like blogging group that I'm a part of, a business group, and I shared this idea with them, and now I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. And it goes with digital product creation, pretty much anything in all honesty, but I made it according to like what my life was like and what I was actually going through trying to stay balanced as a mom, as a wife, as a teacher, as a business owner, and everything else. So that being said, I present to you the Throuple System. I call it the Throuple System because there are three separate things that are involved with this, and just stick with me because this is going to really revolutionize your life. I'm certain of this. Anyone who has executive functioning issues, you have a lot going on, you have ideas here, there, and everywhere, you're bad with organization, maybe that's you, this is going to help you out. So 3, instead of couple, which is 2, we have throuple, which is 3, and there's a three-part thing to this, okay, for hacking out NotebookLM. To the utmost. So first of all, you have Google Keep, which is your brain dump. You have a Google Doc, which is what I call your vault, where everything is kept, also that you think is like noteworthy is kept. And then you have NotebookLM, which basically acts as your brain, and it organizes everything for you. And it couldn't be easier. So let me just break this down for you really quickly. So Google Keep. Okay, so we're going to go part 1, part 2, part 3. So we're going to end up in NotebookLM, which is where the actual exciting stuff happens. But in Google Keep, and I just did like a little dummy thing here for you guys. In Google Keep, it's everywhere, okay? So Google Keep is an actual Google app, Google tool. It's on Android, it's in iPads, iPhones. There's a Google Chrome extension. I'll put that below that you can go ahead and use if you're actually surfing. If you're surfing the web and you find something cool, boop, hit it, Google Keep it. It is everywhere. And like, who here besides me, I know it's not just me, you have these ideas and things of that nature that pop up in your head, product ideas, things you have to remember. You have life that be life, and then you have your business stuff going on too. If you run multiple businesses like I do and you're getting things off the ground, there are just different things. Oh, don't forget to do that, do this, etc. Now in Google Keep, I don't know if you can see this, there's like a little button here. I have it on my phone. You hit the button, you can do an audio overview, an audio message, and you can snap a picture, do a screenshot, take a picture of something, draw it, do a list, whatever. So for example, here, this is all like keyed in together, audio. Could you please remind me to go ahead and work on that one station rotation activity and make certain that I build a custom GPT for it as well. Oh, and make the clip art as well. And so I do that, I hit the actual little arrow there, and then voila, it's all good to go. Now what's going to happen over here is in keep.google.com, it's going to go ahead and sync, and eventually it's going to pop up in here with the actual information that came from my phone. Takes a minute for it to talk to each other, but it does pop in. So and there it is. Right there. There's the actual message that is put in. So you need this, right? So if you're like me, scatterbrain, you have ideas. I could be driving down the road next to my husband in the car, and I'm like, oh, I have this great idea. and you don't want to lose it. So all your stuff gets in here. Do you have to organize anything? No, you do not. Can you take pictures here? Yes. Google Notebook, or excuse me, NotebookLM does read text. It does. All right. So we have our brain dump. We're dumping everything. We're dumping our list. We're dumping if we have to go ahead and pick up our kids on Wednesday. All that kind of good stuff. Now, secondly, we have our vault where everything is kept. Now I have these tabs over here, but I'm going to show you on the right hand side, where is that tab, how you want to go about doing this. So you don't just want to pop in a Google Doc, because NotebookLM can read Google Docs, but you want to make certain that you give it some constraints, some guardrails, so that it knows how to plan for you once everything gets to NotebookLM. So in here, in what I call the Throuple prompt pack right here, there's information here that you have to actually go about filling in, okay? So what are your no-fly zones where you're actually working, like during the actual school year? I'm working at certain points in times. I might have to go ahead and do, this is all dummy stuff, by the way, too. I might have to take my daughter to Girl Scouts, or I might have to go ahead and I might have a spinning class on a Friday or something like that. All that stuff you put in here, appointments, life anchors, things that always pop up. You want to do that and have that set. And then what's going to happen here is below that, once you have, I would also put in your goals. What are your goals? Personal growth, revenue, etc., etc. And then daily goals. This is where you dump all your stuff. So you have to, at some point in time, sit on down and at your computer or laptop, and I do recommend this, you know, maybe go ahead and body double with somebody else. I don't know, with your spouse, with a partner, with a friend. Sit down, have this doc filled out, and then go ahead and just like open up your keep. So here on the right, that little yellow icon, if you click on that, that's all of your keep stuff. The audio that I just did, everything, that's all right here. I have some like little example notes up here to kind of work with as I show you guys some stuff. But you're basically brain dumping through Google Keep, and then you're going to go ahead and take all the most important stuff and put it over here. Your product ideas, things you have to work on. You just go over here, hit the 3 dots, and then put add to document, and there it goes. 3 dots, add to document. May I go ahead and put Pooh in here, because Pooh always works with me. Add to document. It'll go ahead and put the actual image. Pooh needs a bath. That's my little thing here. Pooh needs a bath, right? So you have all these different things here, and it's like your vault. So if the keep note was trash and you really didn't need it, then like don't put it in here. But anything that's worthwhile, necessary, you put in here. And then maybe you're like, you want to do something like, okay, so business event reminder. So since we're in Google here, you can go ahead and like highlight this. And if you go over here to, let me see here. Over here to the actual little help me write, you can go ahead and elaborate on that if you wanted to, right? You can have that as an option. So if you like this, you can go ahead and insert it, keep it right there. It's all nice and neat for you. If you don't like it, it's fine. But if you're someone who's like me, maybe you want to go ahead, product idea, junk drawer organization mini course. Boom. Maybe you want to go ahead and do something with that, right? You want to tweak it out, something of that nature. That's all good. You can do that. Elaborate. Or maybe you want to summarize it, or whatever the case may be. Everything's all involved. If you want to go ahead and do a little prompt, give me more bullet points. Enter. Right? So you can mess with your actual notes that's right here. Insert. Maybe you need to do all that, right? So you have your vault. So you have your brain dump, your vault. This you just kind of look through, you're kind of processing thoughts. You're not organizing anything. You don't need to organize anything because NotebookLM is going to do that for you. So you have your Google Keep, you have your vault, which is the doc, and now we're going to go ahead and talk about the brain, NotebookLM, where all the magic happens. Because once again, if you're someone who struggles with executive function, or you're someone who has a lot going on that you can't really remember, this is going to be your lifesaver. So what you're going to do is go into Create New. And you're going to have your whole, your whole notebook open. Now over here where it says Drive, you want to go ahead and click on that. And you're going to grab the doc that you created, okay? Insert it, and boom, you good. Now, the thing that I like about this is that this is all basically trained off of your schedule, your life, what you need to do, your business, your product ideas. All of that is in here. I'm not taking 50 sources from different folks. Everything that's in here, my own sphere of genius, your sphere of genius, is all up here in this doc. And that is the magic. So once you have that actually connected, and so here's your source, and this says Throuple test, but honestly, you would go ahead and label it like for the month, right? So for January, like it's almost about to be January of 2026 at the time of this filming, you have January. You do another one for February. Maybe you combine January and February because a whole lot is going on. You just go ahead and combine them into one doc. Either way, you have this set and ready, okay? So moving along. So you have this. Now what I typically like to do is I like to go ahead and start with what I call a game time prompt. So this one right here in the actual prompt pack, I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this entire prompt, because this prompt is written in such a way to make certain that you prioritize the things that are most important. Not only that, it's also written to make certain that you don't waste time. If there are any kind of like time conflicts right here in your source, it's going to tag those too. If you're someone like me, and I keep saying like me because I actually built this for myself in my actual thought. If you're like me or someone like you and you have like you double book yourself, this will kind of get you ahead of that, way ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that prompt in there and just let it go ahead and work. Now it was acting kind of funky earlier. It wasn't trying to make tables for me, and I like to have my information in tables, but you can go ahead and tweak that too. Oh, it's doing right. Okay, so right here it's flagging stuff, scheduling conflicts, missing pieces, things about my prop. These are like the actual dummy ones. Hidden wins, copyright updates. Okay, we got here, so it's giving my deadlines. When should I go ahead and upload the clip art? A water bill that was in there. I forgot I hadn't even put that in there, but all of this is laid out for you. It's all laid out, right? This is great stuff. My night owl focus stuff, and I am a night owl. That's not that's a real thing. So all this is here, and it lets you know what's going on. Wash, poo, throw them in the machine before you go to bed. So it gives you an immediate action plan for the upcoming day. I just put January the 1st. All right, so it's saying do this right here at this time. Do this right here. If you had wanted to, or if I had wanted to, I could have easily just said, give me something for, what was it? For the upcoming week, January the 1st through the 5th, or whatever you actually want to do. But it'll do that for you based off of your schedule, based off of your brain dump notes, based off of your time constraints and your overall goals that are in here. It knows now what you need, and so you can go ahead and take it and rock it out. See? Told you it was going to revolutionize your life. It's going to be great. Now, sometimes it'll put questions in here. That's cool. You can roll with these questions. Not a big deal whatsoever. Roll with those questions. List these because sometimes they're useful, but I prefer to actually go with prompts. So up here in the actual, so we have the blank template that you can go ahead and fill out yourself. There's the actual example one that's right here, but then I have some prompts specifically for digital product creators, like the balanced daily schedule, act as my personal scheduler, note today's date, tell me all this stuff right here. You throw it into NotebookLM, it's going to spit out what you need. It is all good in the neighborhood. Plenty of prompts, things that you can go ahead and prompt out if you feel overwhelmed. If it's a Friday and you're exhausted, if it's after work and you're exhausted, throw it in there. Let it tell you what you should work on first and what you should prioritize first. Throuple System rocks. Let me go ahead and put this in here. Okay, so it's all in here, all set. Now over here to, okay, so this is what I do want to show you real quick. So this is my original document, okay? Let's just say that I want to go ahead and let's just say all this stuff is done, right? I go into format, text, I strike through. Now at this point in time, I want to go ahead and look at this again, right? So maybe it's the next day or something like that, but things have changed. Oh no, what do I do? This is what you do because this bad boy can sync. It can sync to your document. So you go over here to your actual source. It's just the one. I would not recommend having it as the Throuple test. You need to put the date and everything, or the month at least. But you click on this and notice here how you can look inside of the source, but then up here it says click to sync with Google Drive. So you click that, and you notice how I crossed all that stuff out? Let me go on over here. How have my daily logs changed? Get rid of that. And now it's looking at the document because it only has one source. It only has one source. So it's giving me the evolution. The logs have shifted from domestic survival to creative overload. So now it's showing all the stuff that it knows that I crossed stuff out. That is what you want. Something dynamic that is going to move with you, to evolve with you, to keep all of your ideas set and ready. I have a freaking hot prompt in here that you can go ahead and plug on in to be able to figure out, okay, based off of what I'm talking about, what kind of product ideas do I have? Based off of this, what kind of things could I actually make based off of my skill set that you've seen me with over the past month or so? All that is in here in the actual prompt pack. By the way, this prompt, the whole Google Docs with all the prompts and everything else, it's all down below. Forgot to mention that. So all of this is set and ready. Now, I can go ahead and go a little bit further. Do I have some time? Okay, real quick. Over here, if I wanted to go ahead and do an infographic, I could say summarize my main tasks that I need to focus on and number them 1, 2, 3, etc. Use Calvin and Hobbes style. I'm going to make a portrait. I'm going to make it, I'm going to do 3rd grade vocabulary, because if you do anything higher than that, it makes the text really crazy long. So I'm going to let that go ahead and cook. Now, if you are enjoying the learning, if you're liking what you're seeing, if you're excited about digital products and using AI to make them good quality, high quality products, please go ahead and give me a like, a subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. It costs you nothing and would mean the world to me as we enter into 2026. And I'm going to show you some other stuff here in just a second. I'm just going to pause this right now. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to show you this one thing. So big jobs for January, you can take the information that's in your source and say, hey, give me an infographic for this. Give me an audio overview for that, or whatever the case may be. And so here's the overview, right? So I got to get ready for my big talk. I have to finish my new school activities. I got to do some pins. I got to update my best work. This is all literally, and I had it done in Calvin and Hobbes style because your girl is just fun like that. I just love Calvin and Hobbes. Anyway, go food shopping. And I could have been more direct with the actual prompt. So I could have said, hey, give me the priority task for January the 5th through January the 10th, or whatever the case may be. But if you're someone who's more visual, and a lot of us are visual learners, a lot of my 5th graders are, a lot of the adults that I work with are, which is why I use video and so much so forth. And, so often, you go ahead and take something like this. Baby, put it on your phone, put it on your laptop, your desktop as a visual reminder, especially if you're someone who is likely to forget certain things. No judgments, nothing of that nature. We have to work what we have, work with what we got to make certain that we're able to build our businesses and make that cha-ching so we can go ahead and improve our lives. All good. Help people, make that cha-ching, improve our lives. All good. So as a quick recap, and please, if you haven't done so yet, like or subscribe and go ahead and grab that freebie, this down below. Please keep this in mind, okay? It is a 3-pronged system, the Throuple System. Google Keep is your brain dump. Google Docs are your vault. NotebookLM is the brain that organizes everything. If you are someone who's like, this will help you out, I 100% promise you. And honestly, when you're first getting started with this, I recommend you sit down and you just go ahead and get that Google Keep, download it to your phone, maybe go to Chrome Web Store or whatever the case may be, get a partner, get a buddy, sit on down and say, hey, let's do this. Let's get this done, and have someone body double with you to go ahead and get the stuff done. There are strength in numbers, and the collaboration and the support can often move us to go ahead and do stuff that we might be more reluctant to do if we were just doing it on our own. I hope that kind of makes sense. And if you want to just go ahead and do it, while I'm talking in the background on this video, you can do that too. All right, but that's it for me. Hope all is well with you. It's about to be 2026 pretty soon. At the time of this filming, I wish everyone a very happy new year, and you take care, be well, and make something epic and awesome. Bye.